everyone, so it's week 8, I think, and I just wanted to do kind of a quick video because you can probably tell by looking at me I am absolutely exhausted. So I just wanted to do kind of a quick update of my week because it's been a bit of a strange week. Lots of new things happening to me, lots going on. My days have been very different, so I just wanted to go through that and how the 640G has been helping me, what it's been doing with my blood sugars, how the sensors have been working, etc. So at the beginning of the week on Monday I started my 4th nursing placement, and I'm in the community at the moment, so it's very different to the ward, so I'm really kind of getting used to that. So Monday, what happened on Monday? Monday I found that my blood sugars, looking at the sensor and the data that was on the screen from the sensor, I found that during the day they were kind of consistently running at about 14, and obviously it was the first day of my placement. I was kind of nervous, so I think maybe that's why my blood sugars were a little bit higher than they usually are. I didn't eat a lot that day. I ate, what did I have? I don't think I had breakfast. I had half a sandwich until about 5 o'clock, which is a little bit naughty of me. I probably should have eaten more, but with my blood sugars being quite high, I didn't really fancy it. I did take some correction doses and it just didn't seem to come down, and I've kind of put it down to my nerves and excitement as well. So being in a new place, doing new things, it's kind of exciting, so my blood sugars are a bit high. But I also found that because I was so busy, kind of meeting new people, getting stuck into a new job, I found that I was so busy that I didn't forget that I had diabetes, because it's difficult to forget that you have a long-term condition, but I forgot to pay as much attention to it as I should, and maybe if I'd made a few different changes, had a temp basal running throughout the day, slightly more insulin, then perhaps I wouldn't have been at 14 all day. But I didn't feel ill. I didn't feel that they were too high. I was quite happy, and to be honest, I'd rather be running a little bit higher than having hypos, especially on a first day when I kind of have to tell everyone, all of these new people, that I have diabetes. So yeah, I mean, running a little bit higher for the first day wasn't too much of a problem for me. Tuesday I had to go on an 8-hour training course to learn the new IT system that I'll be using, and Monday night I had very high blood sugars throughout the night and ketones, and Monday I had changed my insulin and I changed my set at around 6 in the evening. No, it must have been later than that. Yeah, it must have been later than that, because I went to bed pretty early, woke up around 11 o'clock at night, felt that there was something wrong, automatically kind of checked my blood sugars, and saw that they were in the high 20s. Checked my ketones, saw that I had, I think it was 1.8 maybe, and obviously like kind of treated then, gave myself correction doses with an insulin pen, drank loads and loads and loads of water to try and flush out those ketones, went back to bed, set an alarm kind of to check what had happened later on once the insulin had started working, did the same, corrected, drank loads and loads of water, went to the loo, woke up about 6:30 in the morning and still had ketones, still had high sugars, and in hindsight I probably should have changed my insulin and my set during the night, but I was so tired. I don't think I was even thinking straight because I was just exhausted. So I did that in the morning, and they started to come down throughout the day. They started to come down actually quite quickly at about 9:30, so just as I started the training course, so I could kind of concentrate on that throughout the day. They gradually started to drift up a little bit towards the end of the day. I went and met a couple of friends, went to a friend's house for dinner, and strangely, I can't remember which week it was, but I've mentioned it in one of my videos, when I'd had ketones before and my blood sugars had come down, not dramatically, they come down gradually, but the sensor, I don't know if it gets confused. from me having very high blood sugars to me kind of having in-range blood sugars. But I found that the sensor was, again, 10 millimoles out. It was telling me that I was 7.8. I checked my blood sugars after I'd eaten, because I now, due to my gastroparesis, take my insulin after I've eaten, and they were actually 16.8. Thought maybe I'll check again, wash my hands, check again, did it again, 16.8. So the sensor was 10 millimoles out. I got home, I noticed that when I'd been driving home, there were loads of gaps in the data. I got home about 10 o'clock, I think it was, and my sensor had failed, so I had to take that sensor out, and I didn't put a new one in that night. I waited until when did I wait till? Yeah, Wednesday, after I got back from placement, because I just didn't have time to put a new sensor in to kind of go through the warm-up stage that it goes through when you put a new sensor on, and all the calibrating through the night would have just been a pain in the arse. So I just decided for the next day I'm just not going to use a sensor, and I'll do it in the evening when I've got more time. And then I found Wednesday, not using a sensor, I was kind of not on edge, but I didn't like it. I didn't like not having a sensor and not being able to just quickly check my blood sugars just by not my blood sugars, my glucose, just by looking at this screen. Not that it's a huge deal to prick my fingers and check my blood sugars that way. It's just so much more convenient to just pull this out of my pocket and just look at the screen. I mean, with nursing, I find that I'm here, there and everywhere, constantly doing something, so I need to find an extra 5 minutes to check my blood sugars, and that's not always possible. So I think that day, not wearing a sensor, I checked my blood sugars whilst I was on placement maybe once or twice, which isn't ideal for me, but it just showed me how useful this is, how much it helps me when I'm on my nursing placements, how much it kind of gives me confidence to get on with things, to get on with all the jobs that I've got to do, and it just makes me feel so much better about myself. So I really noticed the difference in myself when I didn't have that sensor. Though I'd had a bad experience the night before where it had given me the wrong readings, it had gaps in the data and the sensor had failed, I then went to checking my glucose through finger pricks, and I just felt completely different, and really, really wanted a sensor. Really wanted a sensor that worked, though. I must say that if it works, then it's great. If it doesn't, then I get very frustrated with it and just want to take it off. But that day, I really missed having the sensor. What day is it today? Thursday? Yes. Today has been a better day, glucose-wise. So my sugars have been kind of in range throughout most of the day. I'm not eating a huge amount, but I think that has something to do with my glucose levels being in range. So this morning was the first day this week that I'd had breakfast. So I just had a small breakfast. I had a banana, and then kind of had a sandwich at about 1 o'clock, and then didn't eat again until about 7:30. So I'm kind of having small meals. I'm not having a huge amount of carbs. So I think that really helped today. And yeah, so far so good. This sensor that I've got, so far so good? Yeah, this sensor that I've got at the moment, so far so good, is working well. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm so tired. Haven't had any problems yet. It has suspended twice throughout the day, which has been really helpful. So I didn't know that it suspended whilst I was on placement, so that prevented me from having a hypo. It's literally just finished suspending. So I've noticed when I've been using it on placement, it's kind of suspending after I've gone home. So throughout the day, it's kind of either just above my target or in range. And then when I get home, I have to carry on with the housework, have to go and do the food shopping, have to do the things that everybody else has to do when they get home from work. And that's when I found that the smart guard has been kicking in to prevent my hypos. So it's been suspending my insulin, which is great. Can't remember the last time I had a hypo. I honestly can't remember the last time I had a hypo. It's been a good couple of days, which is really good. Hypos are definitely something that I don't want to worry about when I'm on placement. I just want to concentrate on what I'm doing. I don't want it to kind of affect me. I don't want people worrying about me. I don't want to have to take time out of my day to look after my diabetes when I need to be looking after other people. Because when I'm there, I'm a nurse. I'm not there as a patient. So that's really important to me. And so far, SmartGuard is working quite well to prevent me from having the hypos, which is great. So this trial finishes next week, I think, and I will still have 7 weeks left of placement. So I am going back to finger pricking, which is making me kind of feel a little bit nervous, but I have to do it because I can't afford these sensors. I don't have a pump. Once I give this pump back, my pump doesn't, it's not sensor augmented, so it's not going to work with any kind of sensors. So yeah, I mean, I'm just going to go back to finger pricking and just going to get on with things, I guess. But yeah, it is making me nervous. I think I'm really going to miss having the sensors. I'm definitely going to miss having this pump. I really love the pump now. We've bonded, me and the pump. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to be pretty sad to see it go. But it's been a good couple of weeks. I've had my ups and downs, but I would say the majority of the time things have been good. So I'll have one more video to make after tonight, and that'll kind of just be a summary of the last, well, it'll be 9 weeks when I do it, just summarising things and kind of giving a final yes or no. Would I use this pump? Would I use these sensors? What do I think of SmartGuard? And then that'll be it, sadly. But yeah, I'll just let you guys know what happens next week, I guess.